What is a sunset? Yeah, that's right. We got to do it. We got to talk about what a sunset is. We did What is a Woman? What is a Woman seemed to last like 2 years. We've done What is a Controlled Demolition? People saw a building fall at free fall speed, and people said, hey, that's a controlled demolition. And then people came back and said, but you're not an architect and engineer. Okay, but am I allowed to call that a controlled demolition? Am I? I don't know. Well, you tell me at this point what that was then. Other people started looking in the sky and seeing clouds coming from airplanes and saying, hey, that looks like chemicals. Is that a contrail or is that a chemical trail? What is it? What is it? And now we got a situation where people are looking at boats going over the horizon. And is it going over the curve of the earth? What is a horizon? Is a horizon curved or is a horizon a horizontal line? And why is it a horizontal line? Is it a horizontal line because it's refracting from a ball? Or is it a horizontal line because it's a plane? Is the boat going over the curvature of the earth, or is the boat just going out of the vanishing point of perspective and you're seeing above and beyond what you're looking at? Okay. We had those discussions. We've had that one, for about 10 years now. A boat is going out of your perspective. Well, we got a situation here where a guy's come along and said, hey, let's end this once and for all. Let's put teams together and let's have those teams agree on an experiment to have a conclusion. Okay. I like that. I wanted to do that. I called it the Flat Earth Challenge. I wanted to go west from New Zealand. I wanted to sit on the beach in New Zealand, and I wanted to take a compass, and I wanted to watch that sunset, and I wanted to go there. And if we hit water after 2 hours, globe wins. If we hit land and ice, Flat Earth wins. Because on the Gleason map, if you just draw a straight line from the middle of New Zealand, that's our ice wall. That's not south. Now, it's a little complicated because what is south and what is west, it gets a little complicated. You would think by now we could just figure it out. If you just ask someone to go to the beach in New Zealand or even Australia or even South Africa and just draw a line west at sunsets, and if you hit Antarctica, you're not in their south and you're not in their Antarctica. Their Antarctica is right below Argentina. So then you could come back and then go around the whole ice wall and run into their Antarctica, and you would prove it. It would be that simple. Yes, there is an Antarctic treaty prohibiting this. Yes, people are not letting this happen. But also in people's minds, like people aren't even conceptualizing the flat Earth model very well. But I believe this would be the best way to prove it. But instead, what are they going to do? They're going to go to the place we know. They're going to go to the Antarctic we know, and they're going to do a sunset challenge. And they're going to see if the sun sets. So on the flat Earth model, the sun's going to set because the sun on winter solstice is making its biggest circle around this Earth. In the summer, it's in closer, and then in the fall, it's in the middle at the equator, and then in the winter, it's at the edge. So in the summer, it's a 24-hour sun in Alaska, and then in the fall and spring, it's a 12-hour sun, equal light, equal day. That's what equinox means, equal. And then in the winter, it is not a 24-hour sun. It's about a 19-hour sun, but you already see them rebranding it. So they're calling it the 24-hour sun, but then for the Globers, they're calling it the midnight sun. So will it be light in the sky for 24 hours? That's possible. That's very possible. We've seen video footage of that, of it being very light in the sky in the southern hemisphere on winter solstice. So is it going to be a 24-hour sun? Is that sun going to set? That would prove it. That's the issue at hand. And that's the thing that they're getting flat earthers to bite on. So I'm all for saying the sun will set because it does appear that it is going to set. We have videos of it setting. There's a video of the sun already setting. Now they doctor the video a little bit, but you still see the sun set. So what is a sunset? Because this is what's going to happen for the next 10 years. They're going to go do this experiment, and then we're going to argue about what is a sunset. So you already see them doing the double branding. So they'll say it's a 24-hour sun. If it's light out all day, you'll go, oh, yeah, the sun never set. But that's not technically true. When this sun's rotating around this Earth, it can still be light out, even if the sun's not in the sky. If it sets, it's still going to be light for another 2 to 3 hours. And then when it rises again, before it comes up into the horizon, it's still going to be light. So just because the sun sets doesn't mean it's going to be dark. Simple. No, not an issue. But if the sun is in the sky for 24 hours, if that yellow piece of light is in the sky for 24 hours, if you see the actual sun in the sky for 24 hours, yeah, then it proves your model. So on the globe model, you have ball Earth rotating around ball sun. So the sun's a huge, giant ball. The sun is 109 times bigger than the Earth in diameter. And ball Earth is rotating around ball sun. And when ball Earth is on top of ball sun, it is winter solstice on the bottom of this Earth, according to their model. When ball Earth is on the side of ball sun, then it's equal light and equal day twice a year. But then when it's on the bottom, when it's summer solstice, it's 24-hour sun at the top, at the north. That's according to their model. But the problem is you see a different sunset in the summer and the winter. So if it's ball Earth rotating around ball sun, it should be winter solstice and summer solstice being exactly the same, and fall equinox and spring equinox being exactly the same. But what do we experience? We experience fall equinox and spring equinox being the same. But then winter and summer solstice are different. But why are they different? So what does the globe do? They just change their model. So they take ball Earth and they move it 5 million miles closer to the sun. What's the proof of it being 5 million miles closer to the sun? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What's their proof of motion? Absolutely nothing. They just need it to fit their model so they can have the spiritual heaven. And people are like, they don't quite understand it, but they're like, dude, I saw those space pictures. In order for those space pictures to be true, it has to be the Earth moving around the sun. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You watch sunsets for 10 days in a row. Is this Earth moving? What am I looking at? Am I looking at a sun that's 109 times bigger than the Earth in diameter? I need you to go watch sunsets with your own eyes. I need you to see it, man. I need you to sit on a beach. I need you to sit on a lake. I need you to sit at a park, wherever it is, and I need you to see that sunset. I need you to see it, man, with your own eyes. And then we can go through someone else's explanation of it. But first, I need you to connect to your explanation of it. And my explanation of it is the one that you're going to be experiencing as you sit there watching these sunsets. This Earth is not moving. And if you say it is, then you tell me why you think it's moving. But if you want to go to someone else's explanation of that, first off, I need you to disconnect from their explanation and go see it for yourself. Now we're going to have a situation where flat earthers are going to go to the most controlled place in the world, and they're not going to let them have their own cameras, and then they're going to flip the branding of the experiment on them. They're going to say it's a 24-hour sun, then they're going to ignore that part. They're going to say it's a midnight sun. They're going to show it light out at midnight. They're going to show it light out at 1 o'clock. It'll probably get a little dark at 2, 3, and then it'll be light again. We already have it on video setting. If that's not a sunset in that video, I don't know what a sunset is then. A sunset's where the sun isn't in the sky. The sun's not in the sky in that video. That video has the sun go over the horizon, it blocks it with the cloud, and then it pops it up way over here again. That's a sunset. It's a doctored video to try to show it not be a sunset, but it's still a sunset. That video to me is a sunset. I call that a sunset. If you didn't tell me anything about this argument and I saw that video and you asked me if that was a sunset, I would go, yeah, that's sunset. I don't see the sun in the sky anymore. Yeah, okay, that's a sunset. You're telling me you're going to a scientific research center and you're going to film the sun setting on winter solstice and you're only going to bring one camera and you're only going to shoot it from one area? So the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west, and you're just going to shoot it from one spot. Come on, that's not very scientific, man. On top of that, you got all these videos of just people going out with cameras during summer solstice and filming the 24-hour sun in Alaska. Yeah, it makes sense because it happens, and you can just go out and take your camera and film it. So in this final experiment thing they're doing, do the flat earthers get to choose where the sun is filmed from? Do they get to choose that? Do the flat earthers get to have their own cameras? I reached out to Pastor Duffy, who's running the final experiment. I said, are you going to let them have their own cameras? He goes, oh, that's ridiculous. Of course we are. And I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you. I don't believe they're going to be able to shoot this experiment with their own cameras. So that's a huge, huge issue. Who are they picking to go? They're picking Jaron from that Flat Earth documentary. Jaron, mister, we have a problem here. What was Jaron's first concern? Duffy reached out to him and said, hey, Jaron, we want you. Of course you want Jaron. Of course. He's going to give you that soundbite. He's going to say, oh, it's a midnight sun. Oh, we got a problem here. Of course he is. And what was his first concern? Money. Money. No. Am I going to be able to hold my own camera? And where are we going to shoot this sun from? No. Anything about the experiment? No. The whole experiment is shooting the sun. And they haven't even talked about where they're shooting the sun from. You can't just go walk around Antarctica. You're not allowed to go explore that place. Kind of important where you're going to be shooting that sun from, isn't it? We got video of it. We only have 2 or 3 videos of this 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And yet, in the north, we have all these videos of the 24-hour sun up there. Seems a little fugazi. And the video is fugazi as well. Okay, so you think that would be the number one concern. Where are we shooting this sun from? And do I get to have my own camera? You're paying for this trip. So what's his first concern? Money. I want my expenses paid for. I want $40,000. That was his number one concern.
Jaron has asked me to make a public video stating that I will cover all of his expenses for our trip to Antarctica this December. All expenses will be covered, even if it goes all the way up to $45,000.
Yeah, it shows you. It shows you what's going on here. That's the flat Earth thing for you. That's how it works, man. For 10 years, we had to discuss boats going over the horizon. Now, it's going to be another 10 years of what is a sunset. It's quite frustrating, and it's quite annoying. Go to New Zealand, go to the beach, find where that sun sets, and go there and see if it's Antarctica. And if it's Antarctica and you keep going straight, you didn't come out the other side of their ball. It's that simple. You could do it from Australia, too. You could also do it from South Africa. But go west, and west is where the sun sets.